Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. How are you all celebrating your Christmas today? For me, I'm just home spending time with the family. Also babysitting, man. I've been waiting to receive Christmas gift from you all, but I guess the best Christmas gift I've ever received in my entire life is from the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. Can you believe it? On Christmas Day, he just decided to surprise me. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm a big advocate of visa-free for Africans. A borderless Africa is a must. It's about time for each and every African to travel within Africa without visa restrictions. And it has to be free for Africans, because it doesn't make sense to know that an American can come to Africa with no visa, and African cannot even travel from another African country without applying for visa. I feel like we're sick in the head, and it's about time for us to change it. And I'm so glad that His Excellency took the decisions to abolish all visas for every...
Okay, so by now you should know exactly what is really going on. The news, they say President Akuffo-Addo was signing a new law. Okay, let me restructure it. He's about to sign a new law, and he will sign this a day before he hands over power to John Dramani Mahama. So the law, they say Akuffo-Addo approving visa free for all Africans to Ghana. This sounds something else. Now I know so many people are jubilating, but then currently what I'm getting right now, confirmed from people obeying President-elect John Dramani Mahama, a party say he may revoke that particular order. This particular order, Akuffo-Addo signing on the 6th of January 2025, just a day before he leaves office. And how strange is it? Say all these years visa free, just a day for him to leave office. Akuffo-Addo so be visa free for all African nations. Before we even continue, we are going into details as to what really is going on. Let me put this on the screen. This is coming from Ronald Reagan. That's the former US president. As some of the children, as some way no can say a nation that cannot control its borders is not a nation. This is coming from Ronald Reagan. Now let's get into the details and see why Akuffo-Addo in some of the other children amount will be said this is not. And even people John Dramani Mahama said we know there's more sinister because the entire said just a day before you leave office you bring or sign this law. The joinings for Ede Ebetuja. I want to give you the breakdown. We are now John Dramani Mahama on some of the Ebetuja. If you watch closely what is on the screens, okay, if you join us, Akuffo-Addo approves visa-free entry to Ghana for all African nations. One is selective for all African nations. So, on this same way, Ebetuja say, why would you do this? Because already Ghana, Accra more ne La Pasa, Lebanese for Lebanese Niger for Oma Chronosoma. Already we can't even control her choice a circle. We can't even control these people. And I say why any visa free. And I'm forecasting no, there is more to this. So Akuffo-Addo did same way to John and NDC forecast. You see, relax. He's even signing this a day. Because day Akuffo-Addo signing this particular order now, it is a day before he leaves office. That happens to be on the 6th of January 2025. Look at what is on the screens. Akuffo-Addo approves visa-free entry to Ghana for all African nations. Now, President Akuffo-Addo, President Nana Akufo-Addo has fulfilled his pledge to introduce visa-free travel for citizens of all African countries to Ghana. All African countries to Ghana. And the big question is why? Because what is really going on? And Akuffo-Addo say, the promise made during the Africa Prosperity Dialogue, APD, 2024 in January, earlier this year, was aimed at enhancing free movements of people, goods, and services across the continent. With executive approval granted on Wednesday, 18 December 2024, this policy is set to take effect before the end of Akufo-Addo's term on January 2025. So now Akufo-Addo Amaya say okoye some events early in January. Some events no okoye early in January no. And no na promise the whole world Africa no visa free, Ghana no visa free, and I was signing into faith. No, I said this particular effect, and this particular year policy, it will take effect before the end of Akufo-Addo's term. That is January 6th, 2025. Now, on this same way, Babe, too, Joanna amount for scholars say this is already a wrong time because you are not a president. So why would you sign this thing? Because already Ghana, we are facing a lot of issues. So why would you sign this thing, Ebra Wufi office? Have you ever thought about the economic implications? And in Ghana, already we are grappling with low resources. In the Niger for no be a bar. At the end of the day, no kakrani 1 year to me, almost one be did the same thing. US most they don't allow any person. You hear Donald Trump closing the borders, and I'll close the border and I'll deport. Na Ghana, now, obi true peace be added to a year modern Ghana, okay? Before you tie in summer NDC for air can, or see visa free entry for all African policy premature and must be reconsidered. So already, people are sounding the alarm, say this is a stupid decision. This is a stupid decision because Ghana, we are living at a particular time, and we are fighting insurgencies, Boko Haram, any other. So you saying it's visa free, have you put in the measures a bit more protect citizens? Nah. We are just doing it because now after the elections, Akufo-Addo say Mr. Democracy, he's doing this a day, not on his tenure, and I'm not in his tenure. He's doing it a day before he leaves office. TRC, Osha, or say, in what has been hailed by some as a bold step toward Pan-African unity, President Akufo-Addo has approved visa-free entry for all African nations in Ghana, a policy set to take effect on January 2025. While the policy is a nod to the African Union's Agenda 2063 vision of a united and borderless Africa, it raises fundamental question: why now? That is the question. After years of controversial governance that many believe has left Ghanaian in shambles, is this a decision, or is this decision a genuine Pan-African gesture? Is it a desperate attempt to repair the tarnished legacy, or perhaps an attempt to sabotage the next government? And na ye bisa obi okocho opinion eto modern Ghana no bisa say, Akufo-Addo, you are doing this a day before you leave office. What is the agenda? Are you doing this because Oya president nipa baako uni Burkina Faso for enkasa nipa baako uni Guinea uni obi ankasa kudita etu obi and country be kudita odi okokwa pai because we ECOWAS che why should a kudita go on? Meanwhile the people want it. You be president 1930 what last 70 years on your near kudita or saying you shouldn't have done kudita, and you are loggerheads with these states. Uye ni nature after they also bought visa free for all African countries 1 day before you leave office. And then Nipanika said, Akufo-Addo, what is your intention? Osha Osanso Twan said, throughout the presidency, Akufo-Addo has faced widespread criticism for his alignment with Western interests, often earning him the unflattering title of a puppet of the West. And now a year piece here, Akufo-Addo during his 8 years as president, Ghana, your border countries in Burkina Faso, your only omina kontoka beef, hunu, kokonsa, and Akufo-Addo waye. Into Akufo-Addo, yes, I am many in our bro for to make us a coy or a puppet of the West. You can't be a puppeter. Who say a bro for a toy be and a Ghana or toy be as a homa, Osha, a year could join to the music video. Aha, a homa, not as a son and sunny, it's not all country, never puppets. Into Akufo-Addo, a puppet of the West, puppet of United States, puppet of Europe, puppet of UK, puppet of Canada, puppet of Asia. Oh yes, I am money in ano. And African countries trying to wish almost so dear could you concern your puppet, you be you sue near Dampel. Akufo-Addo who say send any guys only friends no or say visa free. And Akwa be say what is the motive? I dream ben na Akwa papa ni trim. Or also trust to say his government, Akufo-Addo's government, has been accused of prioritizing foreign directives over the interests of Ghanaians. So this sudden effort to embrace Pan-African ideals feels contradictory to his track record, leaving many to speculate about his true intentions. And Akufo-Addo over these years, Niema oba ya beka so person ye Pan-African, we are not really doing that. So over the years, there is a void. But all of a sudden, no person will say, yes, you are truly a Pan-Africanist. And ye bisa sakwani bisa peace and say, what is his true intentions? Or also try to say, could this be a bait to rewrite history and reposition himself as a champion of African unity, or is he a calculated move to sabotage incoming government? And Akwani bisa Akuffo, what is your motive? Because now after the elections, our was meeting, Obi Abo Wabaso. We should hear Mr. Democrat. Now tell Kundong. Onobisa say, are you doing this because you want more fans? And now say, be a person unya more role, international roles in the UN after you've left your office as Ghana's president. And now say you are doing this to sabotage the current NDC incoming administration. And yeah, Ubaya na Akuffo Mahama ba na fe de Niger for Nigeria for Gambo omunya begum to na omani mo ye den ya ka say catch them say NDC aban mo bebre. Because the more the people, the less the resources obre. Or so try to say, okay? Or is this move a calculated move? Or is this a calculated move to sabotage the incoming government, possibly led by his political rival, John Dramani Mahama? The timing, which is a day after the new administration, is to assume power seems too convenient to be coincidental. And all parties said this thing is happening a day before Akuffo leaves office. Oko TikToker could be a video so bisa weird questions. No bisa say, isn't it concerning? That is the same thing. Isn't it concerning Akuffo? A day before you leave office, you are signing this law. 8 years, 20 months signing law. Hey! Now, listen to this. Ebra joining is for posting the same thing, okay? On social media, no? People, even MPP for crowd were questioning, Akwawi, you know, is he okay? Akuffo, like, what is really happening to him? A day, we better sign his seat a day before you, Akuffo, you leave office. All of a sudden, no, Papa say, hey, me be visa free for all African countries. Jaima Mahama be na adie. Leave it for Mahama will do his thing. But opposite, join is for posting where, as you can see, Akuffo approves visa free entry to Ghana for all African countries and all African nationals. And a comments, no, Urban HSA. People and a majority of the people are not happy with this BS and a bullshit. Tiha, share comments nibi. Wait for Michael Winifred, okay? Let's make this clear. Let's make this a little bigger for Moshe. And you could see that people are not really happy. Okay, we feel Michael Winifred or say appeasement move after betraying Sahel states who are fighting for their survival after years under French imperialism. Sahel states, no, countries somewhere Francophonia, they are insurgent people like Islamists, ISIS, Boko Haram. Afa omu nation na se o ma capture omu no fa de bi omu no omu kon ebi ye Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Niger, Mali and co. And okay say all these years no for no person no be meeting uko US and now can some fun uko UN and now as a throw dirty jobs u be fi power and what are you trying to do? We fi elekem kotoko or say empty head of state just to create a situation that may pose a threat to the national security for the state, national security of the state. To his successor, we await for January 7, 2025. And now, all cast Akuffo do tikondo she enim this coming. Yamna meka elekem kotoko eneka. On our price, obe ya deal we send be at the end of the day. And ye obetiana Ghana yako bombe more. Obetiana Ghana obiako ye na edie yem share aba. Na Ghana fwaka say Mahama ba ye shedi aba. Isi abuko around for crab Ghana. That is what elekem kotoko is saying. And now we fi a year or say. Or say pay WAEC to enable them release the results. They just say, no. WAEC so minister when to WAEC come release the results. No, Fianyama on the name how ye. WAEC crown to me to an account free borderless African countries. Free SHS here. Ye who a swan you obia the babe enjoy the free SHS. Meanwhile, they are limited resources. Now, by me kujo me taxpayers' money. And the big chance uncle Fonica. Boom booklet. Alhaji Anya or say for what purpose we will revoke it back. We won't allow the country to any rebel camps to be built in Ghana. Also, we won't allow the country to any rebel camps to be built in Ghana. With this, your decision, we can favor some country, but not all. Thank you, sir. And all cast see the bullshit Akuffo do assigning to law, though, it is really ridiculous. So NDC coming to power, and they are going to look at this and see this is a nice policy. But instead of us saying they are going to allow all African countries, no, why don't we do it selective? Kenya South Africa, countries which can add value. Do you get what I'm saying? Because Obia Padepa. Do you get what I'm saying? Obia Padepa. It's the best countries which can add value. No, step by step. Until Kenya announces, Ghana announces visa free for certain selective nations. South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Egypt, countries a bit mama bibia. They are come to add investment and not be a burden. That is what the National Democratic Congress is aiming to do. Because in other news too, and on this particular same issue, in other news too, with the my idea or say a good news because abroad for one more American, you come back Ghana. You don't need visa to just come to the country. Okay, in America, ni back room my engine na ye African or back country has here. Nya restrictions kuntum. According to with the Maya or say a good news. In fact, he used the word African liberation. And about Malika said, liberate yourself or emancipate yourself from mental slavery because none but ourselves can free our mind.
Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. How are you all celebrating your Christmas today? For me, I'm just home spending time with the family. Also babysitting, man. I've been waiting to receive Christmas gift from you all, but I guess the best Christmas gift I've ever received in my entire life is from the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. Can you believe it? On Christmas Day, he just decided to surprise me. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm a big advocate of visa-free for Africans. A borderless Africa is a must. It's about time for each and every African to travel within Africa without visa restrictions. And it has to be free for Africans because it doesn't make sense to know that an American can come to Africa with no visa and African cannot even travel from another African country without applying for visa. I feel like we're sick in the head and it's about time for us to change it. And I'm so glad that His Excellency took the decisions to abolish all visas for every country in Africa. So if you're coming to Ghana in the year 2025, you don't need to apply for visa. This deserves a round of applause, man. And I want you all to do this in the comment section. Just type, thank you, Your Excellency, for believing in the dreams of Africans. You don't think it's a great news for me? Because as somebody who travels within Africa, this is one of the best things that has ever happened to the continent. Rwanda has done it. Other countries have done it. And I'm so glad that Ghana is doing it now. And as a Ghanaian, I need to feel so proud to come in here to appreciate His Excellency for such a great initiative. So in 2025, you all need to come to Ghana, come do business, come travel Ghana, come live in Ghana, come explore Ghana, and come find your loved one in Ghana. Come find your husband in Ghana because you don't need visa to come in here. In short, come spend your money in Ghana in 2025.